I feel like the title of this video being The Last Word just does not do things justice. Because it's not the last word. There are many words, a million words that I want to say about Newcastle United being in the Champions League. Yes, I'm going to say that again. Newcastle United are in the Champions League. I'm going to keep saying it. I might have said it in my last video. I'm just going to keep saying it. But anyway, there is still things to talk about. There are many things to talk about after that Leicester game because the football season, we might have forgot, is still going on. Lots of things like how is Eddie Howe going to deal with teams parking the bus like Leicester City did? Anderson, he got his first start in a very long time on Monday. Let's talk a little bit about the role he had to play in getting us over the line. The lap of honour, all the great things that came with that. And we are probably going to have to just get used to the fact that we are going to be one of the more hated clubs, even more than we were at the start of the season, because this is only the beginning. It's the Newcastle last word, Newcastle fans, so do us a favour, stick around if you know what's good for you. I normally start these videos by saying welcome back to another video in the channel, Newcastle fans. I hope you're having a lovely week. My God, lovely isn't quite the word. Hope you're having a fucking stupendous week. And I don't know whether you're anything like me, but that Champions League anthem has been in the headphones a million times. Like Eddie Howe in his press conference on Monday, those Dre beats have taken an absolute battering, and that song never gets old. I've had remixes of it, you name it. And I think that Mr. Alexander Isak and Sven Botman sum up with one noise exactly how we feel waking up every morning at the moment as a Newcastle fan. Let's just have that one more time. Go on then, one more time. Yeah, that sums it up perfectly. What a week. What an incredible, monumental, historic week supporting this beautiful team that I am proud to call my football club. And I'm sure everyone watching this video right now feels exactly the same. It's been a bit of a dream. I pinched myself in the early hours of Tuesday morning when I woke up just to ask myself, did that really happen last night? And you take a step back in the season, and this is the last word video, so we are going to talk about topics whilst the football season is going on, but it's just worth mentioning. We've had so many nights at St James's Park now with our full-time whistles gone, and we've celebrated, and that one was just another one on that list. We've had, don't forget the Cup semi-final at St James's, getting to Wembley, that full-time whistle, Que Sera Sera. We've now had Champions League confirmation. We've had Cup semi-finals. We've had Man United getting smashed. We've had Chelsea getting smashed. We've had Tottenham getting blown away. It's just been an incredible season, and that was just another one to add to that list on another level. The only shame is Newcastle didn't play the Champions League music at the end of the night. Come on, PR team. You can do better than that. You can do better than that. I'm not going to make this video all about the Champions League because for me, I'm going to stay consistent with my social media and my YouTube. And there is still a season going on. And next week, when the season draws to a close and we reflect, that's when all the Champions League content is going to come out. I'm going to do a video on what we need, how it's going to affect us next season, where we want to go, all of that good stuff. But for now, let's stay on the path that we are on with one game left. This is still the season, and these last word videos are what I do. So that leads me on to my first point. Before I get into that, Newcastle fans, do us a favour. Whack that little likey. That goes a long way. And if you like my opinion and you like my match vlogs, if you haven't already seen that wonderful night against Leicester, just go a bit further down once you've watched this and give that a watch. Whack that subscribe button. Support for the channel has been absolutely incredible, and I love each and every person who comments, likes and shares Black and White Banter stuff. And the support on Facebook, Instagram and TikTok and Twitter, where I make video edits every single day, normally humorous and comedy style videos about the Newcastle United news that's current, is just incredible, and I love putting a smile on people's faces. So please get us across all social media. And yeah, that leads me on to my very first point of let's just enjoy this moment, Newcastle fans. Now, what I don't like and everyone's entitled to their own opinion. I've gone on YouTube and TikTok and all these platforms we have at our disposal now, and all the Newcastle content within 24 hours of that wonderful night, not even that, is people talking about the seriousness of, like, what next? Is this going to be a little bit too much? How's the squad going to go? What transfers do we need? How is it going to affect our academy? What requirements do we need to be playing in the Champions League? My God! Just take a breath. And that's YouTubers, TikTokers. Let's just enjoy the moment. David Ginola did an analysis on one of the foreign channels on Monday night's game, and he summed it up perfectly. He summed it up. He was like, take it in, enjoy the drink, enjoy the beers, enjoy waking up the next day after a night like this, and just spend a bit of time absorbing what's happened. This is the first time in the Champions League for 20 years. And I know YouTubers and TikTokers and that have a job to try and get content, and I get it, and get the ball rolling, more Champions League videos, more views and all that. Just as a fan, for me, I was lucky enough to remember the Bobby Robson days. I've just wanted to process it all with a smile on my face, enjoy being a Newcastle fan again. And this week has been incredible. I'm making this video on Wednesday. I've got a grin ear to ear every single day, because our football club is going places and we are back amongst the football and the elite. So let's just all take a breath. We don't need to think about what players we need yet. The transfer window hasn't arrived, and it's a long transfer window. We don't need to think about fixture congestion and whether we'll make the top four again and all that stuff. We're enjoying the ride. And if I'm worried about this football club the day the expectations change, and it's going to happen, we need to enjoy the moments where we are just happy being a better football team with ambition and having our city and our club back all as one, and that unity between the two, because the penny is going to drop and the expectation is going to change, and that'll be a day where, I don't know, I'd love to speak to a Man City fan about that, where yes, it'll be amazing, but that innocence of our football club where all we've wanted is just better times and a bit of entertainment on the pitch, that will eventually go, especially the more our club goes global, as it will. So yeah, let's just take a breath. Just YouTubers, TikTokers, if you're watching this, just chill the fuck out about academies and squads and... Whew! That's my first point, Newcastle fans. Just enjoy it. Now, on to the game. There was a game. There wasn't much to talk about, which we haven't said that much this season. But I think it's fair to say there has not been a team come to St James's Park and park the bus as much as what Leicester did. It was crazy. I think they had 123 passes in the whole game, which is an absolutely mad statistic. That's ridiculous. And they had a game plan, and I think it's a risky game plan, but bearing in mind if Leicester had probably come at us, they've been so weak defensively, we would have probably beat them, so I can understand where Dean Smith's come from. He's now got it all to play for in the final game. If they'd expanded out, played with more width, played James Maddison and whatnot, I think we probably would have beat them. We would have had too much in our locker, because that's how we want teams to play us at St James's. So I understand. But it was interesting because Eddie Howe going into next season, maybe even in the Champions League, depending who we play, because St James, I don't think we're just going to be there to be a bypasser getting battered every week. We will, give teams a really good go at St James's. We'll compete. Eddie Howe needs to get used to teams parking the bus in the Premier League, and he needs to find a way to get over that. And maybe that's because it does come down to individual brilliance at times. And yes, we've got the Isaacs and the Callum Wilsons who can turn it on as a goal scorer, but maybe we just need to go up that little bit level to get past that. Because if you look, I've done some stats, and by teams who've come and parked the bus at St James's, we are looking at maybe having 10 more points if we turn them draws into wins, which, don't get me wrong, it's been an incredible season. That would put us 1 point behind Arsenal, who are on 81. Absolutely incredible. And I look back, Bournemouth earlier in the season, Crystal Palace when VAR fucked us over, Leeds on New Year's Eve, West Ham when we drew 1-1, Leicester on Monday. That's 10 points. I could be missing another game there with a draw. But when teams come and park the bus at St James's and we throw the kitchen sink at them, we are struggling to break them down. And it proved the case on Monday. If you think about the game, yes, we hit the post. Yes, we had one off the line. The goalkeeper had no saves to make of any substance. We didn't have a chance where you came out the stadium and said that was a sitter apart from Bruno's header in the back post where I don't know, I think his brain went for it. I think he was thinking about the Champions League. I think he was daydreaming. But generally speaking, yes, we should have won the game on chances created, but we need to find a way, and that's what I kind of thought about in the aftermath of Monday's game, is teams will continue doing that next season. The newly promoted teams will come and do that. The bottom, you know, we don't expect the Liverpools and the Tottenhams and the Chelseas to do that. And you could maybe argue that's why we've beat them, because they've done that and that's played into our hands a little bit, and that's why Leicester was smart to do what they did on Monday. But Eddie Howe needs to find a way to stop that being a problem, because if teams keep seeing success in doing that, we're going to see it every single week. And I think Man City can work against that because they've got that next class up. So maybe it is just a patience thing as we add more and more quality. Elliot Anderson unexpectedly got his first Premier League start, I think, ever. I don't think he's ever started. He started for us in the League Cup. Don't quote me on that one. Joe Linton pulled up in the warm-up. Obviously wasn't right until the last kick, the first kick of the game in the warm-up. So that was disappointing to see. But Anderson came in. And I think what Elliot Anderson has done, before he might be going out on loan somewhere in the summer, we don't know, with that squad improvement. I don't think he will. I think Eddie Howe is very, very set in his ways and how he likes to develop players, and I think he'll keep him close by. Elliot Anderson did no harm in proving that he can mix it with our first team. He put in a solid shift. Maybe wasn't his most creative night, because we know what sort of player he can be with the ball at his feet. But Elliot Anderson has given Eddie Howe a trusted option there, as if to say, you can come in, you can do a job. When you've got midfield problems, count on me, Eddie. I'm the Geordie Maradona. So that was really good to see. And yeah, we never got the goals. He never really had any goal scoring chances himself. I know he was unlucky not to get his goal at Nottingham Forest when it was ruled out for offside. But he looked comfortable, and we know he's comfortable, and we know he's a confident boy, and we know he's a Geordie, and it was really, really nice to see him in the team. And going into the Chelsea game on Sunday, I'll touch on that at the end, a little bit close at the end of this video. We don't know how Eddie Howe's going to approach it. Is he going to go loads of kids, or is he really going to push for third place? We don't know, but Elliot Anderson certainly has got to be looking to start in that one as well, with maybe Joe Linton being out a little bit longer, I don't know. Willock probably's out for the season now. The lap of honour was lovely, wasn't it? That was another thing from Monday's game. It's always a nice occasion when you've had a season as incredible as what we have, to say thank you, especially with the Champions League clinching at the end of the match. But it was just nice to see, and all I watch, almost get a bit emotional watching the lap of honour, is a club so united in just everything, from the fans down to the players, down to the management, down to the tea men and women, down to the kit men, you name it. Everybody was on that pitch with families and kids celebrating. Honourable mention, by the way, to Miguel Almiron's son banging in this worldie. Still baby Miggy, back to Miggy. Back to baby Miggy, still baby Miggy, still baby Miggy, still baby Miggy, Miggy, still baby 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 Miggy, goal, goal, goal. And that commentary on that video, that's real. That's not me doing a foreign voiceover. I promise. That was from Paraguay. That's how excited they are over Almiron's son in his native country. And it was just lovely to see. There was loads of moments like that, and Amanda Staveley hugging everyone, the huge group photo, which, by the way, Nick Pope got interviewed whilst the group photo was getting taken. We were trying to boo. What the hell's that about? Come on, you can't leave Big Nick out the season he's had. Maybe they didn't want him in the photo because he's too tall, I'm not sure, but that was shocking. But it was lovely, and it just goes to show how great this football club can be when someone believes in it and someone invests. Those scenes at the full-time whistle for a good 20-25 minutes after were amazing. Half-time, Merdad going against Jamie Rubin in the football challenge. That was great to see. There's so much going on. Our social media's improved. Everyone's engaging with the club. It's nothing short of incredible, and the lap of honour just proves that, and it gives everyone a chance to say a sort of thank you to the players. They say thank you to us, and it just builds that relationship even more. And it was the same after the Arsenal game last season, and you've just got to enjoy moments like that, especially obviously with our last game being away. And where does this leave us moving forward now? Since Monday, then my next point has to be, you've probably seen across all social media, we were already hated as the season's going on by certain quarters of the Premier League. Your bigger clubs. I don't think your Bournemouths and your Fulhams and whatnot. The comments I see from fans of them sorts of teams, love Newcastle, great away day, respect for the fans, always travel loud, travel well. And it's the top six that we're upsetting. And we've really, really upset that top traditional top 6 table, and it's going to continue. I've seen comments all over social media about sports washing, about buying the Champions League place, about us over celebrating Champions League as if we've won something. Just let them have their petty, jealous, ridiculous little comments on social media, Newcastle fans, because it's only going to get worse. Because this isn't like, for me, this isn't like Leicester getting Champions League after the 15-16 season when they won the league. It's not a flash in the pan. This is the start of something, and that's what's upsetting football fans around the country, that Newcastle not only are upsetting the table, they are climbing on top of it, pulling the kegs down, taking a shite, and then sitting on some gold and throwing at the end of it and letting everyone stew and stare at that shite in the middle of the table. That's what we are doing, and I cannot wait for the ride. And you just have to embrace the comments on social media. Alan Shearer's had hate to his tweets. He put, "You've never seen a Mackham in Milan after Monday's game," everyone battering him about that. No matter what we say as football fans, the bigger we become, when we make things like cup finals and Champions League, we just continue getting hated. Liverpool fans having a meltdown because they haven't clinched it this season. Darwin Núñez saying he wanted to go to Liverpool and not a team like Newcastle because he wanted to play Champions League. Gutted. It's going to continue happening, and I'm all for it. I'm not someone who has an issue with potentially being a hated team moving forward. I'm not. That only means one thing. That means Newcastle United are upsetting apple carts and being the fucking shithouses that we've been this season, and long may it continue. There's a million things I could talk about, Newcastle fans. I just want you all to know that this is hopefully only the beginning. And as I said at the start of this video, enjoy it. Enjoy it. Don't get too bogged down with who we might sign, who we might play. Will this happen? Will that happen? Just keep enjoying the ride. 20 years since we've played with the football elite. Real Madrid might be coming to Newcastle next season. Barcelona might be playing at St James's. Lewandowski might be in the big market. Benzema might be smashing Greg's pasties on the quayside. It's all absolutely incredible. And we've gone from relegation to the top competition in the world in a year and a half. So just enjoy it. Chill out. Keep drinking cans. Keep smiling. We've got one more game to go. And yes, I am going to Chelsea. Of course I'm going to Chelsea. And I've got a very special couple of videos planned as well. Let's just say the sailors' hats are going to be on as we drive up and down the Thames before the match. So you don't want to miss that. So on that note, whack us a like, whack a subscribe, get us across all social media. Thanks for the continued support, and just enjoy the bliss, the dream, the magic that is supporting Newcastle United at the moment. I love you all. I'll see you on the next video. How are you, lads?